So I want to do a update video slash I got some new quadcopters here. Up to I think almost 1,700 subscribers. I'm growing rapidly. I want to thank you, all you guys and girls out there that subscribe to me and support me. And I want to let you know that I have a bunch of new videos coming out for like this, flying videos. I got some RC truck videos coming out. And of course I keep a steady pace of the repair videos. So I'm trying to mix it in a little bit more with the RC type stuff because it's becoming spring now. It's early spring right now, but I can already feel it. The temperatures are changing from, I don't know, 10 degrees it's been, negatives a lot recently. It's been a really harsh winter. To now they're calling for, you know, mid to high 30s. I think this weekend it's going to be almost 50. So everything's going to start to melt out, and we'll definitely have better temperatures for batteries anyways, for especially these little quadcopters. The batteries on these things may last a minute or two out there, fully charged. The cold just kills them. Now it's my fault because I'm going out in 0 degrees, 7 degrees, 10 degrees, doesn't matter. And I'm trying to do a little aerial footage of winter activities. So I can't really expect too much from these smaller quadcopters, but I was hoping for more. So this video is all about is mainly this quad right here, which is a V262 from WLToys. Looks cool, right? Hopefully you can see that it's all focused. It's supposed to have this foam ring on it, right? Well, everybody gets rid of them, and I did the same because I ended up doing a nosedive into the street and a whole chunk of it cracked off. No big deal. I was going to change it out anyways, get rid of it. And then it comes down to the bare bones airframe right here. So what I wanted to go over is how extremely, okay, not extremely, but how disappointed I am in the V262. I've had this V959 for a long time now, half a year, tons of flying time on it, and I have not broken one thing on it. Not a propeller, not a arm on here, not a LED. The body is original on this one. It's got a couple holes in it from the dogs biting it. Stuff like that, when they grab it out of the air or whatever. That can happen from time to time when it gets too low on accident. But there was a few flaws with this that can be, fixed by common sense. Taping the SD card on here so it doesn't fall out on a crash. These landing skids right here don't come glued together, glue them together. Stuff like that you just don't know from the start. Besides that, once I took care of those items, I've not found any other new flaws. I wish flight time would be better, but of course, what I'm thinking of right now is the winter. Like I said, it's going to kill the lipos. It's going to. Otherwise, this one it flies long enough. And so basically, what I wanted was this chopper has its own little camera, right? The V959 has the camera option to it, and that camera's okay. It takes pretty good video if you have great natural light. If you don't, it becomes poor rather quickly, and the sound, of course, as we all know, is mono at best, and a very low bit rate or quality at the mono level. So I was trying to go for something a little bit bigger, but trying to stay within a budget. Okay, I figured this thing was so great. Looks the same, doesn't it? Well, it basically is the same. It's very close, except this one does not have landing skids, which I thought was a big mistake. And it turns out it is. It's a big mistake on their part. Otherwise, the same thing. Has the motor at the end. Has the pinion gear on the motor and the big old spur gear, I guess you could call it on here. And it's the same idea for the gear reduction. And these ones, of course, spin smooth because I guess they're coreless motors. And these are regular old brush motors. And these seem to really, I don't know if it's the, I I doubt the magnetic field inside of these motors is this strong, but it's possible. But they just don't seem to be as meshing as nicely as these ones. Okay, so I went over a few big problems I have with this. What I wanted to do is, great, you have this, has the bigger propellers, has more lift, right? And I want to get the Mobius or Mobus camera on there. Well, I tried different mounting options, blah, blah, blah. Well, I couldn't really mount it down below because it lands on these arms out here, on these guards for the gears. So it lands on that. So it's too low. You can see it's too low. Whereas this one, I got that skid on there. You could put you could attach a camera to the bottom, I think, no problem, like the Mobius. But it's, you know, can't handle the weight. Now this one, it can handle the weight, but you could definitely feel the difference. It's just kind of struggling a little bit. It kind of made it, if it wasn't perfectly centered, it was kind of off kilter. So I had to mount it on top, and I think mounting on top made it a little more unstable, more than being at the bottom. Like I said, I couldn't mount it on the bottom because of the way it lands on these 4 gear covers here, these protectors, instead of skids. So I tried that. The Mobius, I just couldn't get it to focus. It was okay in natural, perfect light, but anything other than a great sunny day with just sun to your back, it was garbage. So I actually upgraded it, and I'll be doing another video on that, and I've kind of moved on. So I was hoping to have this one for a quick one out in the, you know, the winter activities. It'd record them. I had the, you know, cheaper camera on there, and I would have my GoPro on there, so it'd be, if I got lost or whatever, or crashed really hard, it wouldn't be as big of a deal because the cost would be a lot lower. Didn't work out that way. I'm going to go over a few points here so I don't miss them. And first thing is durability. This thing, there was no cover. This is a spare one for this one. This thing has broken more times than this one ever has. And this one, yes, I do fly it in the same 7-degree weather. Okay? I know it's a lot lighter, but, you know, the string should be proportional. Okay? So this one I fly in the same weather as this one. This one, the blades have deflected up and bent up at the ends. These landing gears, the landing gear, the protectors here have cracked and come away in 5, you know, different places on different ones. It just depends how it got ruined, where it cracked at. And one of these is pretty bad. This one right here. The whole thing came from this side away, whereas the other ones may break here. Like I think one of these do. So I had to do Scotch tape on them until my new ones come in, and they are replaceable. But the fact that this is where it's supposed to land, the weight's supposed to come down onto these, it should be able to handle it. Just like this, these can handle it. You know, like you can land on that as hard as you want, carrying a payload, doesn't matter. So why wouldn't these be, you know, the same way? So that's one of the biggest issues. And then the first day I had it, I did hit something, but I've hit stuff all the time with it. I've had some bad crashes with this one, and no problems. Okay. And these ones, this one, on one of these black ones in the backside here, actually the motor, the top end of it that contains the brushes and all that stuff, and where you solder your 2 leads on there for power, that actually popped up. Now I was able to take this off, pull the motor out, desolder it, pull the motor out, and then reattach it so the brushes go into that commutator face and mesh them together, and then put it back down into the can, and then, you know, bend those tangs back over. What happened is when it hit it separated, and then it cocked the shaft in there, and then it would bind on, you know, the gearing here. So that's a real issue on these. And I have some new motors coming, but again, why, you know, I shouldn't have put motors in there already. It wasn't that bad of a crash. And the other thing is, And the other thing is I don't know if this is common or not in a quadcopter, but I've heard these motors, they go out pretty fast. I mean, as far as the brush is eating away. And that didn't make sense to me, considering something like this just lasts and lasts and lasts. Why would these, being regular brushed motors, go out that fast? I just didn't understand it. As far as I haven't had any issue with that yet, because it's so new. I have just gotten it maybe 2 weeks ago, but I've had them separate like that, and that's of course an even bigger issue. So as I said, the lift isn't that great, so I was carrying the Mobius camera, and it's kind of like all over the place, and it really can't handle it. Flight time, I can't really say yes or no, but what is this one, a 500 milliamp battery in it? And stock, you can buy a 600. I bought 600 for it for extra. This one only has I believe it's an 850, and an 850, that much bigger of a chopper, it didn't make sense. So I did buy the upgraded battery that's like a 2000 milliamp, and it can strap to the bottom and all that stuff. But I think this is a lot bigger and heavier. So you're going from this small of a chopper to this big of a chopper, and you're only bumping it up, 350 or whatever. The milliamps just didn't make sense. I would think it would be 1,000 to 1,200 at least stock. From the, that's what they give it to it. I should have to upgrade it immediately. 850 sounds really low, and it's hard to tell because I need warmer weather to say it has a 10-minute flight time. Like 10-12 minutes is fine for any of these, as long as you're not doing anything crazy with it, just regular flying. So I thought the battery was quite small, and you have to upgrade that. So, yeah, and then the flights, I know the one motor on here is bad still. That's just rubbing on there. So it doesn't spin up like the rest of them, so smooth. But the flight on this thing, and I know how to calibrate it, 2 sticks down to the left and all that. And it seems like the little bit of wind and like that, it'll put it all over the place. I don't know if that's because the booms are so far out here, the arms, or what, but it just doesn't seem nowhere near as stable as this one. This one just kind of like hovers and it zips around, and it's great. And then this one, whether you may or may not know, has a great amount of lights on the arms, front and back on the body. You can see them. It's great. It's awesome looking quad, and it's fun to fly. You got your orientation here and there. In this one, let me flip it around. It does have lights, and that's all fine and dandy. Saying it's not linked up right now. So this one, it does have lights, and they're, at all 4 corners. These back ones kind of dance a little bit. But, I mean, look at the difference. Hopefully you can see it. I mean, these are just making the chasing lights and everything else. This one has basically nothing. I thought that was kind of, I don't want to swear, but garbagey to me. And so overall, I wanted to I thought this one was so great. This would be just a bigger version of it, and this is basically my conclusion. What I've come upon. They're both 6-axis. They both look the same, except this one's quite a bit bigger. I don't understand why it's so hard to fly compared to this one. Now I've noticed my little Hubsan X4s, very easy to fly. Maybe because of the size. Very easy to fly. This one felt a little bit harder, and this one just like it dropped off. And this one's really hard to fly. The range is great and all that stuff, but just any kind of wind, and it's just all over the place. It's not even fun. It's nothing. It's not enjoyable at all. I'm ready to just give it away. I want to just give it away and let someone else deal with it. I may still do it. I may do a giveaway on my channel here. It depends. I got the new battery coming. I got new motors. I got new you know, the landing gear coming for it, and if that doesn't take care of it, I probably will be just giving it away, doing a giveaway on the channel. What's nice about this one is you can do all the same attachments. The camera, this camera actually is from this one. You know, the bubble blower, the squirt gun, the grappling hook, it all just plugs into the board just like this one. See, right here, you got the mounts for the skids. So I don't know where the skids are and why they would not have been included. Besides the fact that this big foam ring on here might make it land to one side or not because it's so heavy. It really wasn't necessary to have that foam ring. They were just trying to copy the AR drone, and I'm glad I did not get the AR drone because that would have been a slightly better one, but it would have been the same situation where it won't be that much lift and all that. So I'm going to give this one another try, put the new motors in for the one that's binding. One of these black ones is binding. I think it's this one right here. So it doesn't spin up all the way because that gearing there's still a little messed up from that hit. And what perplexed me is that when I did that hit, I actually hit the roof at my work. This was not damaged. You know, actual prop wasn't damaged, not at all. The arm wasn't damaged. The body wasn't damaged. Nothing in this plastic right here was damaged. This wasn't damaged. Nothing was damaged. And the motor can popped up. I guess it's just because maybe this hit the rafters up there, stopped, and then it like popped up the motor can top. I don't know. So we'll see once I get everything repaired on there. I got that UFO alien body coming for it that everybody uses. They put the little notches in, it's a little bigger body in this one. And I just use this one for now to cover the electronics when I fly it. So I have a proper body on there. And I got that new battery, new landing gear, and replacement motors for the ones that got damaged, at least the one that got damaged. And I got a gear or two coming in case those get damaged also. So I was excited to have this. I even did I took it all apart and I ran the motors free for a pack or two to break in the motors, the brushes in the motors. And I did all that and still nothing. It's just a pain since it got out of the box, basically. So in the end, I just want to get this out here that I'm very disappointed with this. Maybe you guys give me some tips, pointers, tell me I'm an idiot, whatever you want to do. I just don't get it with this one. I've had a couple different quads, and this one is by far the worst. I got it with this one, and that's when I was first starting to get into quads. So now that I'm a little more experienced, I figured this would be great. I guess we'll see. With warmer weather coming, I should be able to get a lot more flight time with it, obviously. And what I've noticed is that the winds are starting to calm down around here too, so that's even better for flight instead of being these windy, cold days, which is no fun at all when you're out there trying to fly and your hands are freezing. So what I did get, I broke down and finally got it. I did not buy a DJI Phantom. I wanted the number 2, the new one that came out, the Spirit of Flight one I believe it's called. And that one just didn't make sense to me with all the flyaways and the older ones. I know a lot of people say it's a setup issues, but other people say they set it up right and they still have problems. Lose a $900 chopper? I don't think so. What I got, because the Walkera has its own problems with stability, is I got this one. The Blade 350QX, and this thing is a night and day difference to the V262. Obviously it's more professional, it's more expensive, it's brushless motors, all that stuff. And I'll be doing a full unboxing / review of that and initial impressions of that to let you know what I think of that. I got the latest version without the prop problems that happened early on and all that. So I'm going to go through my own adventures with this one. And I got it right at the time when it's becoming warm out, so that's perfect timing because I'm going to be anxious to get out and try this one. So that's about it. Future videos to come on the blade and what I learn and don't learn about it through my trial and errors. So back to this one, the V262, I would say do not buy it if you want the video and everything else. Just stick to the 959. You can fly in a lot more places. It's not going to damage anybody. It's not going to damage any cars. And you'll get all the functions on the bottom side there. The little add-ons, the same as this one. And that one is about $59, $62 pending. Shipped to your door. It's a great one. So in the end, I would not recommend this unless you guys correct me otherwise on it.